I am with Apple today, and she is, again, more than willing to lend her canine stardom to being in a video. You know, it's amazing. I take out my tripod and my camera and my microphones. She sees it and she starts going crazy like, okay, let's go. I'm ready to star again. You are a movie star, little girl. Yes, you are. We want to talk very quickly about ears and paws today. And again, I just want to emphasize, I am not a veterinarian and I am not a professional groomer, but I am sharing my experience with you and telling you what we do, which has worked very well for us over the decades that we have been breeding, showing, judging, doing all sorts of other things with our Cavaliers. So, Apple, ears and paws. For maintenance of the ears, my essentials are a slicker brush and a good sturdy metal comb. For emergency situations like huge knots in the ears, thinning shears. Cavaliers have these long floppy ears, so we have to regularly maintain them. Apple's ears are suitably messed up right now because she's got Sherlock hanging all over her ears all the time. He's still very close with his mother. But let me move in closer so you can see better here. So regular maintenance of the ears involves brushing with the slicker brush, which keeps knots from forming. And that's inside and out. I don't believe in any sort of trimming of the ears. Certainly, I absolutely will not take scissors or shears or anything and try to sculpt the shape of the ears. Wouldn't want to do that. We want that natural look. Back here, right where the ear meets her head on the bottom side, is where the knots usually develop. A good sturdy metal comb before they get developed is the best bet. If you do find a knot that's very well formed, and actually we're lucky she doesn't have any right now, what I would do, and I'm going to have to do this on a pretend basis because she doesn't have any knots, but I would take the knot and I would hold the knot by the upper end. I back brush to get all the loose hairs away from the knot, and then I would take the thinning shears and I'm not going to actually do this, I would make several cuts between the knot and where the base of the hair is, and then take the comb and remove the knotted part. And using thinning shears, it really doesn't mess things up. But that's only in severe knotting cases. Some people advocate trimming the hair from around the ear canal here. And they say it does minimize the danger of infection. You can see right there, and she doesn't have a lot of hair right around that. Certainly, I would never dream of trimming any of the hair along the leather or on the extension beyond the leather of the ear. That would really take away from the look. Actually, because she's a tricolor, a lot of judges in the ring will flip the ear over to make sure that this tan hair on the inside is intact. Now you can see hers are pretty clean. If you do, make sure you don't pluck the hair. You would have to very carefully, you can use like a human nose hair trimmer or something along those lines to judiciously trim that. But we never do that, and we've had minimal problems with the ears. For regular maintenance, any kind of a commercial ear rinse that you can buy in the pet shop or online will do. It's a liquid, it's non-prescription. Her ears right now are nicely maintained, so I'm not going to actually do this, but I'll show you what to do. We would take this viscous liquid ear rinse and squeeze it into that ear canal until we see it filling up. Put the ear back down, massage gently, and then she would shake her head like crazy, which she's not going to do because there's nothing in there. Then that keeps them clean. A couple of situations that can develop. If you see little black spots around there, black spots could be dirt, but they could also be ear mites. If the dog is scratching vehemently around the ear and there are black spots, you probably have ear mites. Then you have to see your vet and get a prescription treatment for that. Also, if you smell the ear and you don't like it when I smell your ear, if you get a musty smell from the ear, then there's a good possibility there's a yeast infection, and again, you can get a treatment from the vet that will take care of the yeast infection. And that's it with ears. As far as the paws are concerned, again, Cavaliers are in their natural form. They have these beautiful long slippers, we call them, coming out, the hair coming out from around their paws, and that's characteristic of the breed, and we don't want to mess with that. In fact, again, way back when we were beginning exhibitors, we had one of our dogs where a groomer trimmed the slippers around her paws, and the judge put her in last place and said confidentially to us later on, I would have put her in first except that her paws were quite obviously trimmed. So trimming is something we don't do, and it does ruin the look, even if you're not showing your dog. But the one thing that you want to do, let me show you closely, is to take the hair in between the pads on the bottom of the foot and trim that. We use a trimmer like this. This one's nice because it's rechargeable, and it's very simple. Without touching the slipper, we go to the bottom of the foot, and you can see right there that there's hair growing in there, and we take our trimmer and we carefully cut the hair in between the pads. Now it's kind of ticklish for them, so you have to really hold on. And I do that on all four paws. It's very useful if you live in an area where there's cold and snow during the winter, because if they go out in the snow and there's too much hair in between the pads of the feet, they come back with an array of little tiny snowballs attached to their paws. And it takes a little while before they melt, makes a mess on your floor, and makes them kind of uncomfortable. Apple, come here. And that's the only thing I see a need for with the paws. Before I close this video, I just wanted to give a special shout out to a couple of my most faithful followers, a pair collectively known as Mark and Mandy. I love that name combination because it kind of, if you're old enough to remember, it reminds me of Mork and Mindy. If you do remember, Nanu Nanu. In any case, wanted to say a special hello because I understand that Mandy is going to be undergoing some medical treatments that are a little bit stressful, and I just wanted to reassure you, Mandy. A lot of us have been through it. I actually have been treated for 2 different forms of cancer in the last 5 years or so. Came through both very nicely, and it's not easy while you're going through it, but I'm sure you have family and friends to support you, and just hang in there. So I hope that was informative and useful for you. Apple, thank you. But know what? Tell me.
I do not like that fuzzy thing on my paws.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. See you again.